Chapter 1: The Fragile Web of Happiness. In the heart of a serene suburban town, nestled among tree-lined streets and neatly manicured lawns, the Thompson family inhabited a picturesque house. Mark and Laura Thompson, a couple whose smiles mirrored the warmth of their home, were the proud custodians of a seemingly idyllic life. Two bright stars completed their constellation of happiness: Olivia, a spirited teenager on the cusp of adulthood, and Ethan, the younger sibling with a contagious enthusiasm that echoed through the halls. The Thompson residence exuded an air of tranquility, its exterior painted in soft hues that blended seamlessly with the surrounding landscape. Every window told a story of family dinners, game nights, and shared laughter. The well-tended garden bore witness to the passage of seasons, a testament to the enduring nature of the Thompsons' bond. Mark, a dedicated professional with a meticulous approach to his work, often found solace in the routines of his career. His office hours extended into evenings, a commitment born out of a desire to provide his family with a comfortable life. Laura, a nurturing presence in the household, invested her time in creating a haven for her loved ones. Her days were a symphony of household chores and moments of quiet reflection, a delicate dance to maintain the harmony within their home. Olivia and Ethan, the vibrant threads that added color to the family fabric, navigated the challenges of adolescence within the embrace of their parents' love. The air echoed with the sounds of sibling banter, the patter of hurried footsteps, and the occasional burst of laughter that reverberated through the hallways. Their rooms, adorned with the traces of growing up, were sanctuaries where dreams were nurtured and secrets shared. Yet, unbeknownst to the world outside their charming abode, a subtle shift was occurring, a gradual fraying of the threads that bound the Thompsons together. Like a tapestry subjected to the passage of time, their once vibrant and sturdy happiness became a fragile web, vulnerable to the stresses of the unseen forces at play. The couple's intimacy, once a source of solace and strength, began to yield to the demands of Mark's demanding career. Late nights at the office became more frequent, and the lines of communication blurred in the face of mounting responsibilities. Laura, ever the resilient anchor, attempted to bridge the growing emotional distance, but her efforts were met with the silent resistance of a partner ensnared in the demands of modern life. In the midst of this subtle unraveling, the children, engrossed in the tumultuous journey of adolescence, sensed the shifting dynamics. Family dinners, once a time of shared stories and laughter, became more subdued affairs, the silences between bites echoing the unspoken words that hung heavy in the air. The fragility of their familial tapestry became apparent, though its true nature remained hidden behind the façade of normalcy. The Thompsons, ensconced in the comfort of their suburban haven, stood at the precipice of change, unaware of the storm brewing on the horizon. The delicate threads that composed the fabric of their happiness were stretched to their limits, yet the true test of their strength lay ahead, waiting to unfold in the chapters that would follow. Little did they know that the seemingly calm suburban waters harbored the potential for tempestuous waves that would challenge the very foundations of their once unshakable family bond.
Chapter 2: The Unseen Cracks. In the quietude of the Thompson household, where the exterior exuded an aura of familial bliss, unseen cracks quietly splintered the surface of their seemingly perfect life. Beyond the well-maintained façade, the family was navigating the intricate terrain of emotional discord. Mark, the sturdy pillar of the household, was a man of unwavering dedication to his profession. His commitment to providing for his family manifested in the long hours he spent at the office, the hum of the computer and flickering fluorescent lights becoming a soundtrack to his tireless efforts. While the world outside perceived a successful man climbing the corporate ladder, inside the walls of his home, Mark's emotional landscape was a complex mosaic. Emotionally reserved, Mark found solace in the structured confines of his work. The challenges of the office provided a temporary escape from the mounting tensions that lingered within the domestic sphere. The intricate web of his emotions, woven tightly within, became entangled in the demands of his career, leaving the threads connecting him to Laura and the children strained. Laura, a loving mother and devoted wife, sensed the growing emotional chasm within the family. A silent witness to Mark's prolonged absences, she grappled with the loneliness that stealthily crept into the spaces between them. The laughter that once echoed through their home now competed with the ticking of the clock, marking the passage of time in a language fraught with unspoken words. Determined to salvage the emotional connection that was slipping through their fingers, Laura embarked on a delicate mission to bridge the widening gap. She adorned the family dinner table with carefully prepared meals, each dish a testament to her desire to nurture not just their bodies but also the intangible ties that bound them together. Yet, her attempts to breach the emotional fortress Mark had unintentionally erected were met with a resistance she couldn't quite fathom. The cracks, although invisible to the outside world, were palpable within the confines of the Thompson home. The subtle changes in atmosphere, the lingering silences, and the unspoken tensions bore witness to the gradual erosion of the emotional foundation that had once supported their happiness. Despite Laura's efforts to mend the widening gaps, the fractures seemed to deepen, weaving a narrative of disconnect and disquiet. As the chasm between Mark and Laura widened, Olivia and Ethan, the perceptive witnesses to their parents' struggles, grappled with the shifting dynamics. Their once solid family unit now felt fragile, its stability hanging by a thread. The children, like silent observers, navigated the uncharted territory of their parents' emotional disconnection, their own emotional landscapes mirroring the cracks that were emerging in the foundation of their family. The Thompsons, entangled in the intricate dance of their individual struggles, stood at the crossroads of a narrative still unfolding. The unseen cracks, though imperceptible to the world outside, were carving pathways through the once solid structure of their family life, leaving behind an emotional landscape fraught with uncertainty and the impending weight of unspoken truths.
Chapter 3: The Distant Echoes. As the unseen cracks deepened within the walls of the Thompson home, Olivia and Ethan, the vibrant threads that once wove joy into the fabric of family life, found themselves caught in the undertow of their parents' silent struggles. The echoes of emotional discord reverberated through the once happy abode, leaving behind a palpable tension that reached every corner. In the cocoon of adolescence, Olivia, on the precipice of adulthood, and Ethan, still navigating the uncharted waters of youth, were absorbed in the whirlwind of their own burgeoning worlds.
The once familiar rhythm of their lives was now accompanied by the distant echoes of their parents' emotional disquiet. The laughter that had once filled the hallways with infectious mirth was replaced by a hushed tension that lingered in the air, leaving the siblings to grapple with the unfamiliar terrain of parental discord. Family dinners, once a sacred time of connection and shared stories, morphed into somber affairs, the clinking of utensils against plates punctuating the heavy silences that hung in the dining room. The lively banter that used to dance between bites now gave way to a taciturn atmosphere, each member of the family ensconced in their own thoughts. The once vibrant tableau of familial togetherness now resembled a faded painting, the colors of joy muted by the persistent shadows of unspoken truths. Despite the growing void, the Thompsons, like actors on a stage, maintained a façade of normalcy. Mark, driven by a sense of duty and perhaps a lingering denial of the emotional rift, continued to immerse himself in the demands of his career. Laura, ever the resilient mother, juggled her roles with grace, presenting an image of strength that masked the emotional turmoil beneath the surface. The children, keen observers of the shifting dynamics, grappled with the weight of the unspoken. Olivia, in the throes of adolescence, sought refuge in the sanctuary of her room, the walls bearing witness to the silent tears shed in the dark. Ethan, still a child in many ways, absorbed the tension like a sponge, his exuberance giving way to moments of quiet contemplation. The Thompsons, once a tight-knit unit, now clung to the fragments of normalcy, creating an illusion of stability in the face of mounting challenges. The outside world remained oblivious to the distant echoes that haunted the hallways of their home, each step echoing the growing chasm between the family members. As the emotional landscape of the Thompson household continued to shift, the once clear contours of their familial bond blurred into uncertainty. The distant echoes of parental struggles became the soundtrack to Olivia and Ethan's coming of age, a poignant reminder that the foundations of family, once sturdy, were now at the mercy of unseen forces that threatened to unravel the very fabric of their shared existence.
Chapter 4: The Storm Brews. The Thompson household, once a haven of familial warmth, now found itself engulfed in the gathering tempest of internal strife. As the years passed, the storm intensified, each passing day leaving the family more entangled in the tumultuous winds of emotional discord. Mark, the anchor of the Thompson family, increasingly sought refuge in the storm of his career, his once dedicated pursuit of providing for his loved ones transforming into a convenient escape from the brewing turmoil at home. The office, with its relentless demands and chaotic pace, became a sanctuary where the complexities of his personal life could be momentarily set aside. As his workload expanded, the time he spent within the walls of the home diminished, and the excuses for his prolonged absences became a shield against confronting the unraveling dynamics of his family. The once sturdy fabric of their relationship frayed further as Mark's prolonged absences left Laura to grapple with the weight of unspoken words and unresolved tensions. Each day, the emotional distance between husband and wife widened, and the storm within the household gathered strength. Laura, once a beacon of strength, now found herself adrift in a sea of solitude, the echoes of her unvoiced concerns reverberating through the cavernous spaces of their home. Faced with the growing void, Laura sought refuge in a part-time job and expanded social circles. Unbeknownst to her, these pursuits inadvertently became life rafts, carrying her further away from the man she had built a life with. The part-time job, with its demands and distractions, offered respite from the emotional turbulence at home. Social circles became a place where she could temporarily escape the disquiet that had settled over the Thompson household, yet with each social interaction, she unwittingly drifted further from the shared shores she once navigated with Mark. The storm that brewed within the Thompson home cast shadows not only on the couple's relationship, but also on the once happy haven they had created for Olivia and Ethan. The children, weathering the emotional downpour, found themselves caught in the crossfire of their parents' struggles. The stability they had taken for granted was eroding, replaced by an uncertain atmosphere that clung to the walls like a heavy mist. The family dinners, once a symbol of togetherness, became increasingly sporadic, replaced by the isolation of individual pursuits. The storm, fueled by unspoken grievances and a growing sense of detachment, seemed insurmountable, casting a shadow over the very foundations of the Thompson family. As the storm within their household raged on, the Thompsons faced a critical juncture. The path ahead was obscured by the dark clouds of emotional turmoil, and the once clear vision of a shared future seemed like a distant memory. Little did they know that the coming chapters would test the resilience of their bonds, challenging them to confront the tempest that threatened to tear apart the fabric of their family.
Chapter 5: The Breaking Point. In the quiet tapestry of the Thompson home, a fateful evening unfolded, destined to be etched into the annals of their family history. The fragile web of happiness that had delicately held the family together finally reached its breaking point, succumbing to the weight of long-suppressed emotions and unspoken truths. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows through the once familiar rooms, tension simmered beneath the surface. Mark, returning from another demanding day at the office, carried the burdens of his professional life, unknowingly bringing the storm clouds that had become his constant companions. Laura, weary from shouldering the emotional weight of their strained relationship, felt the air thickening with the unspoken grievances that lingered between them. The evening, pregnant with the weight of unresolved issues, unfolded like a slow-burning fuse, leading the couple towards an explosive confrontation. The living room, once a sanctuary of shared joy, became the battleground for the clash of long-suppressed emotions. The storm that had been brewing within the family now manifested in the heated exchange between Mark and Laura, the eruption of their discontent echoing through the halls like distant thunder. The children, Olivia and Ethan, huddled in their rooms, became unwilling witnesses to the emotional tempest that enveloped their parents. The crashing waves of discontent reverberated through the walls, carrying with them the shattering of the illusion of a perfect family. Each shouted word, a lightning bolt of pent-up frustration, struck at the very foundations of the once sturdy home, unraveling the delicate threads that had woven their lives together. The breaking point, like a seismic rupture, laid bare the stark reality that had long lingered beneath the surface. Accusations and grievances, held in check for years, spilled forth like molten lava from a dormant volcano. Mark's long hours at the office became a focal point of the argument, a tangible representation of the emotional distance that had steadily grown between them. Laura, in turn, voiced the loneliness that had become an unwelcome companion in their shared spaces. The children, barricaded in their rooms, clung to the remnants of their innocence, the harsh reality of their parents' discontent crashing against the walls like a tidal wave. The storm that had been confined within the realms of the emotional landscape had now breached the sanctity of their familial haven, leaving in its wake a scene of devastation. The breaking point, though painful, became a cathartic release, a moment of truth that forced the Thompsons to confront the harsh realities they had long avoided. The fragment of the shattered web of happiness lay scattered across the living room floor, a poignant reminder that the road ahead would be one of profound transformation. Little did they know that the breaking point was not just an end but also a beginning, a catalyst for the chapters that would follow, shaping the destiny of the Thompson family in ways they could not yet fathom.
Chapter 6: The Silent Fallout. In the wake of that tumultuous night, the Thompson home underwent a profound transformation, a shift that left the once vibrant atmosphere cloaked in a haunting stillness. The aftermath of the explosive confrontation cast a heavy silence over the household, the echoes of shattered dreams resonating through the very walls that had borne witness to the unraveling of the family fabric. The living room, which had witnessed the stormy confrontation, now stood as a solemn witness to the silent fallout. The fragments of shattered emotions lay scattered like debris, and the air, once filled with the hum of shared laughter, now hung heavy with the weight of unspoken pain. The familial haven, once a sanctuary of love, had become a landscape marked by the scars of discord. Olivia and Ethan, the unsuspecting casualties of their parents' discontent, grappled with the harsh reality that the foundation of their family was crumbling. The silent fallout manifested in their interactions, once marked by the easy camaraderie of siblinghood, now tinted with an unspoken understanding of the upheaval that had transpired. The innocence that had once defined their familial bonds was replaced by a premature awareness of the fragility of love. The once clear contours of their family roles became blurred in the aftermath. Olivia, on the precipice of adulthood, felt the weight of responsibility settling upon her shoulders. In the silence that enveloped the home, she became a silent observer, absorbing the unspoken burdens that lingered in the air. The vibrant tapestry of her dreams for the future now seemed frayed, the threads of certainty unraveling with each passing day. Ethan, still a child in many ways, retreated into the solace of his imagination, seeking refuge in the realms of play where the harsh realities of the adult world couldn't breach. The fallout of his parents' discontent manifested in quiet moments of contemplation, the understanding of the shifting dynamics weighing on his young shoulders like an invisible burden. The familial bonds, once a source of strength, now felt like fragile threads that threatened to snap at the slightest strain. The once lively family dinners, now sporadic and marked by a strained politeness, reflected the unspoken tension that loomed over their interactions. The ghostly silence that settled in the wake of the confrontation became an unwelcome companion, turning shared spaces into isolated realms of solitude. Mark and Laura, grappling with the silent fallout of their tumultuous night, moved through the house like ghosts of the couple they once were. Communication became a precarious bridge, each attempt to mend the emotional chasm met with the daunting silence that had become the legacy of their unspoken truths. The once clear path of their shared journey now seemed obscured by the fog of uncertainty, and the fragments of their shattered dreams lingered in the air like a poignant reminder of what was lost. As the Thompson family navigated the silent fallout, the shadows of that fateful night cast a long pall over their once happy abode. The landscape of their lives had irrevocably changed, and the chapters that followed would be defined by their collective efforts to navigate the labyrinth of emotions and find a way to rebuild from the silent ruins that now marked the once sturdy foundation of their family.
Chapter 7: Searching for Solid Ground. The aftermath of the storm left the Thompson family in a state of collective disarray, each member navigating the debris of shattered dreams and fractured bonds in their own way. Faced with the stark reality of their unraveling family, each family member embarked on a deeply personal quest for stability, a search for solid ground amidst the emotional wreckage. Mark, haunted by the guilt of neglect that had played a role in bringing the family to this breaking point, found refuge in the familiar confines of his work. The demands of the office, once a source of escape, now served as both a sanctuary and a penance. Immersed in the relentless pace of his career, he sought solace in the routine of his professional life, hoping that success in the external realm would somehow mend the internal fractures that had formed within the family. The office, with its predictable structure and clear objectives, became Mark's retreat, a place where he could compartmentalize the complexities of his personal life. The hope that achievement in the professional arena could fill the void left by emotional absence became a driving force, leading him to bury himself in projects, deadlines, and the illusion of control that the workplace provided. However, the foundation of the Thompson family, once solid and unshakable, continued to crumble beneath the surface. Meanwhile, Laura, grappling with her own pain and yearning for connection, embarked on a different journey in her quest for solid ground. Recognizing the need for external support, she turned to therapy and support groups as a means to navigate the complex emotions that had taken root in the aftermath of the confrontation. The therapist's office became a space for her to voice the unspoken truths that had long lingered beneath the surface, a place where she could unravel the tangled threads of resentment, loneliness, and yearning. Support groups, populated by individuals navigating similar storms in their relationships, provided a community where Laura could find solace and shared understanding. In the company of others who bore witness to the complexities of love, she began the painstaking process of rebuilding the ruins of her marriage. The conversations within those walls, filled with raw vulnerability and shared experiences, offered glimpses of hope and the possibility of a path forward. As Mark and Laura pursued their individual quests, Olivia and Ethan found themselves caught between the undertow of their parents' journeys. Olivia, driven by a sense of responsibility, took on additional roles within the household, attempting to fill the void left by her father's emotional absence. Ethan, still navigating the complexities of childhood, retreated into the world of imagination, seeking refuge from the harsh realities that permeated the home. The Thompson family, now dispersed along separate paths, stood at a crossroads. The once clear horizon of their shared future seemed obscured by the fog of uncertainty. The chapters that lay ahead would test the resilience of each family member as they sought to find solid ground amidst the remnants of their shattered lives. The question lingered, could the fragments be reassembled, or were they destined to forge new paths on separate journeys? Only time would reveal the answers as the family navigated the uncharted territories of healing and self-discovery.
Chapter 8: Fractured Bonds. Despite valiant attempts to find stability and heal the wounds that had torn through their family, the Thompsons found themselves navigating a landscape of deepening fractures. Each member, driven by personal quests for solace and redemption, discovered that the chasm within the family unit only seemed to widen with time. The once tight-knit family, bound by love and shared experiences, now existed as a collection of isolated souls, yearning for connection in a seemingly elusive world. Mark's immersion in work, fueled by a sense of guilt and a desperate hope for redemption, inadvertently became a wedge driving him further from the emotional epicenter of his family. The more he sought refuge in the routines of his professional life, the more the familial bonds strained, their once sturdy foundation eroded by the relentless tide of his prolonged absences. The office, which had become his refuge, became a symbol of the growing distance between him and his loved ones. Laura, on the other hand, immersed herself in therapy and support groups, desperately attempting to piece together the shards of her broken marriage. The emotional work she undertook was an arduous journey through the labyrinth of pain, but the more she delved into her own healing, the more apparent it became that the fractures within the family had taken on a life of their own. The communication breakdown, a silent testament to the growing isolation, became a barrier too formidable to overcome. Despite Olivia's attempts to fill the void left by her father's emotional absence, the family dynamics continued to unravel. The once vibrant threads that connected them now frayed and fragile, unable to withstand the mounting pressures of unspoken grievances and misunderstood intentions. Olivia's sense of responsibility, while commendable, became a double-edged sword, as her efforts to hold the family together inadvertently highlighted the growing distance between its members. Ethan, still a child but growing increasingly perceptive, grappled with the shadows that lingered in the corners of their home. His retreat into the realm of imagination, once an innocent escape, now seemed like a desperate attempt to shield himself from the harsh realities of familial discord. The fractures in their bonds cast a long shadow over his once carefree world, leaving him to navigate the confusing terrain of emotions beyond his years. The walls between family members, once built on a foundation of shared laughter and unwavering support, grew thicker with each passing day. Attempts at communication, once the lifeblood of their relationships, became strained and superficial, unable to bridge the widening gaps. Conversations were laden with unspoken words, and the silence that settled within the household became a suffocating presence, a reminder of the emotional barriers that had taken root. In the midst of fractured bonds, The Thompson family found themselves at a crossroads, their collective narrative at a precarious juncture. The once shared vision of a united front against life's challenges now seemed like a distant memory. The upcoming chapters would test the limits of their resilience as they grappled with the consequences of fractured bonds, uncertain whether the threads that had unraveled could ever be rewoven into a tapestry of unity and love.
Chapter 9: The Reflection. In the midst of the fractured landscape that had become their shared reality, Mark and Laura found themselves standing at the metaphorical edge of their once happy life. The storm that had swept through their family had left behind a landscape scarred by unspoken pain and shattered dreams. In a rare moment of introspection, the couple gazed at the reflection of what once was. The weight of years of neglect and emotional discord etched into the lines of their faces. The room, once a witness to joy and shared laughter, now stood as a silent spectator to the gravity of their collective reflection. The walls, which had absorbed the echoes of familial discord, seemed to close in on them, carrying the heavy weight of unspoken words and missed opportunities. The remnants of the life they had built together lingered in the air, casting a long shadow on the present. Mark, his once resilient spirit weathered by the storms of neglect, stood with a heaviness in his heart. The realization of lost time and the toll it had taken on their relationship was palpable in the lines on his face. The office, once a refuge, now felt like a prison of his own making, the success he had sought as a means of redemption becoming a bitter reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of professional fulfillment. Laura, bearing the scars of emotional battles fought in solitude, stood beside Mark, her eyes reflecting the pain of a love that had been pushed to the brink. The therapist's office and the support groups, while offering moments of solace and understanding, couldn't erase the haunting reflection of a marriage that had become a casualty of neglect. The search for healing, while noble, seemed to pale in comparison to the magnitude of the emotional rift that had unfolded over the years. The reflection of their once happy life was a tableau of unfulfilled promises and the echoes of untold stories. The photographs on the walls, frozen moments of joy, now seemed like distant memories, their vibrant hues faded by the harsh realities of time and neglect. The reflection of what once was became a mirror, forcing Mark and Laura to confront the harsh truths they had long avoided. The pain of lost time and missed opportunities reverberated through the room, creating a poignant symphony of regret and longing. The couple, once bound by love and shared dreams, now stood at the crossroads of their journey, grappling with the consequences of the choices that had led them to this precipice. The reflection, though painful, became a catalyst for a moment of shared understanding, an acknowledgement of the wounds that needed healing and the desire for a future unburdened by the mistakes of the past. As Mark and Laura faced the reflection of their once happy life, the weight of introspection became a pivotal moment in their collective narrative. The upcoming chapters would require them to navigate the complexities of rebuilding, not just as individuals, but as partners seeking to mend the fractures and rediscover the shared dreams that had once fueled the vibrant tapestry of their love.
Chapter 10: A Glimpse of Hope. In the shadow of disintegration, where the fractures in the Thompson family seemed irreparable, a small, fragile glimmer of hope flickered in the darkness. The family, teetering on the brink of emotional collapse, faced a crucial juncture. In a desperate attempt to salvage what remained of their once tight-knit unit, they confronted the demons that haunted their shared history, acknowledging the wounds that needed healing. The room, once laden with the weight of unspoken pain, became the setting for a pivotal moment. Mark and Laura, the protagonists in a narrative of love strained by neglect, stood on the precipice of vulnerability. The silence that had once been a suffocating presence now became a canvas upon which they painted the painful truths that had long been avoided. In this crucible of shared understanding, Mark and Laura began to unravel the layers of resentment, regret, and unfulfilled promises. The process was painful, the admission of mistakes and missed opportunities echoing through the room like a requiem for what once was. Yet, in facing the harsh truths, the possibility of rebuilding their lives emerged like a fragile bud in spring, an opportunity for growth, renewal, and a chance to rediscover the resilience of their love. The children, Olivia and Ethan, bearers of the consequences of their parents' struggles, stood witness to this raw moment of introspection. The realization that their familial bonds were not beyond repair became a beacon of hope in a landscape marred by emotional devastation. The silence that had separated them now held the promise of shared understanding, a foundation upon which the family could begin to rebuild. The acknowledgement of faults, once a source of pain, became a catalyst for collective healing. Mark, burdened by the guilt of neglect, and Laura, scarred by years of emotional solitude, found a common ground in their shared admission of imperfections. The therapist's office, once a symbol of individual healing, now became a space for the couple to navigate the complexities of rebuilding a fractured marriage. The journey toward healing was not without its challenges. The scars of the past ran deep, and the wounds, though acknowledged, required time and patience to mend. Yet, as the family grappled with the painful process of confronting their demons, a newfound sense of hope began to permeate the once stagnant air. Communication, once a shattered bridge between family members, slowly started to rebuild. The walls that had separated them began to crumble, allowing for the possibility of shared laughter, genuine conversations, and the rediscovery of the bonds that had once defined their family. The fragments of their shattered lives, though still scattered, hinted at the potential for a mosaic of unity, resilience, and renewed love. In this glimpse of hope, the Thompson family stood at the threshold of a new chapter, one defined by the courage to confront their past, the willingness to rebuild, and the understanding that healing, though a gradual process, was possible. As they navigated the delicate balance between acknowledging the pain and embracing the possibility of a brighter future, the fragile bud of hope continued to bloom, casting a soft light on the path ahead, a path fraught with challenges, yet brimming with the potential for a love rekindled and a family reborn.
The journey ahead for the Thompson family loomed like an arduous odyssey, a path riddled with the remnants of shattered dreams and the echoes of past pain. As they stood on the precipice of change, the weight of their shared history bore down on them, each step forward marked by the echoes of their collective struggles. Yet, armed with newfound determination and a willingness to confront the shadows that lingered in the corners of their lives, the Thompsons embarked on a journey of redemption and resilience. The landscape of their shared narrative was transformed, not by the erasure of scars, but by the acknowledgement of wounds and the commitment to heal. Mark and Laura, once adrift in the sea of emotional discord, found a shared anchor in the willingness to confront their individual demons and the shared pain that had driven wedges between them. The therapist's office, once a battleground of unspoken truths, now became a haven where the couple navigated the complexities of rebuilding a fractured marriage. Communication, a bridge that had long been in disrepair, started to mend. The walls that had isolated family members began to crumble, opening avenues for genuine connection and understanding. Olivia, burdened by a sense of responsibility, found a renewed purpose in supporting her parents' journey toward healing. Ethan, still navigating the complexities of childhood, began to witness the gradual restoration of the laughter that had once defined their shared spaces. The journey was not without its challenges. Old wounds, when probed, elicited pain, and the process of rebuilding required patience and persistence. The family confronted the discomfort of vulnerability, peeling back layers of defense mechanisms to expose the raw emotions beneath. The therapist's guidance, combined with the family's commitment to shared healing, became a compass guiding them through the uncharted territories of introspection and understanding. As they traversed the arduous terrain of rebuilding, the Thompsons discovered the transformative power of resilience. Each shared moment of laughter, each honest conversation, and every step toward understanding became a testament to the human spirit's capacity for renewal. The scars of their shared history became not just reminders of pain, but symbols of the strength that had emerged from the crucible of adversity. Their story, once defined by tragedy and discord, became a poignant reminder that even in the depths of despair, the human spirit possesses an innate capacity for resilience and redemption. The Thompsons' journey was a testament to the transformative power of facing adversity head-on, acknowledging the wounds, and finding the courage to rebuild. As the family moved forward, the shadows of their past began to recede. The landscape that had once seemed desolate and bleak now held the promise of renewal. The fragile bud of hope that had emerged in the darkest moments of their narrative continued to bloom, casting a soft light on the path ahead. The Thompsons stood united, their collective story a beacon of inspiration, a narrative that illustrated the indomitable strength of the human spirit when faced with the choice to confront shared pain and embark on a journey toward redemption.